Good morning everyone, it's Christine here, and this video is by special request of Kimberley Malloy, who's a lovely viewer of my videos, who wanted to find out how to dismantle or how to cut up crochet doilies. And so I said I would be happy to share. So she just recently got, I think, a crochet runner. I'm just moving out of the way my piece that I'm working on for Roxy's A Journal of Stitchery. I'll be sharing an update on that in a future video. So I've got these doilies that I just get from op shops. This was one that I got yesterday, and as you can see it's got a stain on it. I've actually given it a wash and that stain hasn't come out, but I'm not too worried because I'm planning to cut it out. It's also got little holes and things. And then I've got another doily in another colour tone. So I look for different colour tones because sometimes you want the more vintage antique look. So these are two different browns, as you can see. I don't know how well the differentiation will show up on camera, but they are, this one's a lighter one and this one's a darker one, and then you've got whites. And so you can get a lot of colour variation. So we might just start with this one here. And so when I'm looking at a doily, I'm thinking about what sort of elements would I want out of it. Now, obviously, the flower or circle elements are a common one that you'll want to have as a separate element. So I'll just start here. The good thing with crochet is it doesn't really come apart and fall apart. And I think that's what Kimberley was a bit worried might happen. So what I'm going to do is just start, and I usually, if I've got just some extra space around here, I'll just cut them a little bit back from the flower, and I can always then trim them when I'm stitching them down. And so you basically just want to work your way around, cutting a little bit back from where it is, and then you can trim it. But as you can see, it's not unraveling or anything, so you don't have to fear that. Now I'm using these little embroidery scissors, stalk or crane scissors that I get from Switzerland when we've been lucky to travel to Switzerland. But I have seen, and I have got some at home that I think are just through Kmart here in Australia, embroidery scissors. They're obviously modelled on these ones. They don't have quite as pointy of a tip, but they work really well as well, and they're a lovely little gift if you're making a little package of sewing goodies for a friend. So that's why I keep those other ones on hand, because these ones in Switzerland are definitely more expensive than the Kmart ones, and we haven't been back to Switzerland since COVID misadventures started. Now here you'll see we've got two pieces where I'll want to be saving sort of both or using both of them. So I'm just going to cut between the middle of them in the middle of each of the pieces. I hope you can see there. And again here, just picking the middle spot. And so it's really great if you do dismantle some of your things ahead of time, because then you can just keep a little container of pre-trimmed pieces, which will make them much easier to use when you're then wanting to use them as part of your stitchery. So you're just always looking where the shape is that you want to retain, and as I say, I just like to leave a little bit, if I can, a little bit of thread around. Now here's another section where it joins with another flower, so I'm just going to go down the very center there, and likewise here. So you can usually snip a few pieces at once. But yeah, don't have to be fearful. I know, I was the same when I started dismantling these. I thought, oh, will they still hold their shape? But they absolutely do. And so yeah, when you're using it, you can just take off any extra bits, but it kind of just adds to the charm. And then when you're integrating it into your piece, and then I just like to keep some plastic containers. These are some containers that were in my partner's parents' garage, and they didn't have any lids for them, but they're perfect for keeping my things on my sewing desk. I even keep things like my various threads in them. So yeah, they're very, very handy for just sorting things out, and they're great because you can kind of, if they're not full, you can sit them on top of each other even if they've got a bit in them. So that one's in there. So let's see if we can find another element on here that we might want to. So we've got this really cute little fan shape down here. I don't know if you can see that. And so we can take that one off as well. There you go. Oh, got a bit of dust in my throat. I've had a fun morning at the Reverse Art Truck here in Narre Warren. And I will share probably next Thursday as part of Thrifty Thursday. I'll share a video of my amazing $10 haul from there. And it's lovely because I can even take Travis the puppy there, so he gets a nice little outing. So there's another one of the little fan pieces. Now we've got an area around here which you could cut out in its entirety, or you can just take a section of it, which I'll do here. So again, just work out where you want to cut up. It doesn't really matter. And so you could, maybe we'll just, well, first of all, we'll just take a section of this so that we've got almost like a little section of, it'll be slightly curving, but yeah, it'll be great to add to a page. So I'll do a decent enough length section of this. Just cut it through there. So as you can see, even where you cut through those, they don't unravel. Sorry, I think I just went a bit off camera there. So that's again great to add. As I say, it's a slightly curving piece, or you can just add little sections of that. So I'll put that in another container. Let's go hunting for what else we've got here. This piece is still slightly damp because I had it out on the line drying. So what are our choices here where we've got this section? They almost look like little tulips. I think I might actually cut one of these up along here. And I might save that little end piece, because I think that could be a really lovely, it's like miniature little fans. So I think I'll be able to just snip and snip. So if we come down, sorry, I think probably went off camera a bit there. We probably don't need that bit that's there. And so then you've got a little flower shape. And again, if you wanted to, you could sort of trim in there. So I've got that. And then I've just been conserving this little section along the top here. So let's just take a bit more of that out. It's hard when you're filming because sometimes you don't want to be kind of looking from above the camera, so you tend to move it a bit off to the side sometimes. So as you can see, from one tablecloth in this case, or one runner, you can get a lot of different pieces. And over time, as you sort of grow your collection, you can look out for designs that you don't have, or designs that you might be running low on. And so now I've got this lovely little piece of lacy edging as well. So I'll pop that in. I'm running out of containers, I think. Oh well, I will pop that in maybe with my little fans. So you can also cut out just middle sections like that if you don't want the whole flower. So we'll just take the whole flower out first, and then I'll show you. little extra piece there. Let's put that little piece in anyway, because any piece can be used. Probably don't need that piece there either. But as you can see, it's not coming apart at all. Nice and secure. So with this piece down here, I'm thinking I can just take the middle piece out. Now, will I leave one row? I might come around it and leave one point above each of them. Now I've kind of lost my way. Now what do I need? I need it. Don't think I need that piece there. Amazing to think people handmade all these beautiful, beautiful things that are now just sold for 50 cents or sometimes 10 cents in op shops. But it's nice to give them another life in our pieces. So I don't think that many people use these pieces in their homes in their entirety anymore. We have a few around the house. If I find ones that are absolutely perfect, I do struggle to cut them up if they don't have holes or stains or damage to them. So as you can see, we've got another piece here that's different again. And we've then got a beautiful framing piece. So you could put a lovely bit of fabric in the middle of that. And you could even take it back if you wanted to and take out that lattice work, but I'm going to leave that one for now. So we'd cut out our tulip before. I'm thinking we might cut up here and we'll get 3 little V shapes. So again, you can just have a section like that. And again, if you wanted to create some more dimension, they could even be like little ladies' dresses, and you could put little tops on them. Let's pop that in there. Let's keep having a look at what else we can make out of here. So that's like the first one that we cut out, and then the second one was a different design, so it's an alternating every second. So you could, if you wanted to keep these little side pieces in, you could come up here. Probably will take these ones off at corner. But even that's a lovely little piece, like for a corner of your sew stitch. And likewise here, we've got an extra fan, so we can just take that off. And another lovely little piece, looks almost like a little peacock. And again, we'll just cut up between the individual pieces. So we've just left a little bit more of that lattice work up the top, just for a bit of added interest. And again, we could cut, and in fact I will, because this one's pretty similar to this one. We can cut around and remove this middle section. So if you have a look here, where you've got them really close together, there's a few stitches just anchoring them in place. So you can have a go at removing those, and then it just loosens up a bit and you can get that final stitch. But honestly, you don't have to be that careful when you're doing it. So I might cut closer around to this one. See this one, I'm just going to cut through, and you can see it's not unraveling, so you don't need to worry that it's going to unravel. So I hope you're all having a great day. Hopefully you've had some fun thrifting yourself. If you're watching this, you might have been out and got your first doilies, or you might have had a big box of them and been thinking, what am I going to do with those? So there's a nice little section, and again you can just trim it down once it's out for any bits that are sort of over the edge. Probably just take those extra little bits off. And yeah, you've got a lovely little, I'll take those loops actually there too off. Oops. Pick up my little scrappy bits, put them in my scrap jar. And so there you go, nice little, almost looks like a snowflake. So that's very sweet. And then we have the piece that we cut it out of, and again you can leave those extra little bits on, or when you use it you can trim it down, or you can you could now break this down into all the individual little fan shapes. And then obviously you've got the center section as well, which you could this one, as I say, it's got something really quite firm. It almost feels like glue stuck to it. So with this one, will probably just take out the center piece, although I might want to keep a little bit around it. Could actually go 2 rows out maybe. But yeah, it's really up to you. There's many different ways you can do this. My main thing would be just, most of it's going to be useful in one way or another to add really interesting embellishments to your slow stitch or your junk journal pieces or other crafting. So it's a beautiful sunny day here. So Travis and I, after we went to the reverse art truck, we went for a walk in the gardens. The reverse art truck is actually based in gardens called Kirrell Gardens, and they've built this new ramp. Sorry, I've just gone off camera. They've built this new ramp that runs along the lower section of the gardens, but you get beautiful views back across Melbourne. And it's sort of one of those places that not a lot of people know about. So we only saw one other walker while we were there, so we had a lovely post-shopping walk and then came home and had a late breakfast. So I think I'll be busy this afternoon going through all my goodies from there, and all the fabric samples I've got, I'll need to be taking them off their card bases, because while I used to hang them up in my cupboard, I got too many of them and I found it was more efficient to actually store them rather than hanging up in the cupboard, because they come with little hangers to actually take them off their hangers and their cardboard and store them just in plastic tubs. So there you go, that's the centerpiece, which is like its own doily within itself. And again, you could use the individual elements. And then where we've got the center, because we know we don't want this stain and torn bit, so we'll cut up either side of that, I think. We can actually keep this piece that's by it. Take that bit out. Up to there. That can go in the, whoops, flipped one of my containers. And then, again, you can take a section of, where are we cutting it? Let's just move it around so we can see where we were chopping. So we can follow along here and get a section of the sort of a length of crochet lace, which you can use on an edge piece or unlimited possibilities. I just keep going for a bit longer. you can always cut it down into smaller pieces, but sometimes it's good to have bigger lengths, especially when you have a big doily like this, or a big tablecloth, crochet tablecloth. Kind of makes me happy when I find ones with holes and stains, because it means they were actually used and they've had a good productive life. They haven't just sat in someone's sort of precious cupboard. So yeah, and even though it is done on the curve, as you can see, it's quite easy to straighten it out and use it. If you stitched it down, you wouldn't have the issue with the curve. Not that it's an issue really. And so again, we've got a bit more of the outer section, and I think I'll go up to here, and I might just go one step along above. That's where we've got our hole, so perfect that we pop along here. If you do have holes and you want to keep the piece in its entirety, it is actually often quite easy to sort of make the hole, just get a little bit of crochet thread of the same colour or some white, just white thread, and you can easily stitch them back together. And because they don't really then fray further, I've done that with a couple of really big beautiful bedspreads and things where they did just have one little hole. I've been able to save them. So some friends have got some beautiful bedspreads that I've found in my wanders. So even these little cut-off bits, as you can see, they are actually starting to come apart a little bit, but you can even keep those little scraps to use as well. And then this is almost like a little collar piece. There is the little hole there. But again, you can cut this into sections. This one you wouldn't be able to get to go as straight unless you did a little fold in the middle, but it could make a really great fence, for example. I may even use it in, or a path, because we're doing our down the garden path. So that could make a great path with some darker fabric underneath, and it would almost look like paving. So I think we've and there are still many more possibilities for how you could cut it. So you could take sections of this all the way up. So we could, for example, let's do that. Just so you can tell I just get carried away, and then I just want to keep going. This one I might just take off like a flower as well. Sorry, I'm off camera, aren't I? Apologies. Bodgy filmer on occasion. Often. So there we go, flower. And then you've got a section here. And again, you can take that section off, or you can just take a section of that. Then let's just move on to one of our other ones. So with these, you've obviously got these interior elements. Just bring it up closer to the camera, and also so I can see. So there's usually just a couple of little stitches holding these pieces together. If you sort of pull with your scissors a little bit, or pull with your fingers, you can see where those little holdy together pieces are. And I'm sure some people do it a lot more delicately, but when you've got a lot to get through, you can work this fast, and yeah, it's rare that you get something coming apart. Because the crochet stitches themselves are really kind of holding the elements. I guess that's why these things have sort of travelled so well through time. So there you go. That's another nice little different colour. Just move and pop that into here, and so those are all the same elements around there, but then you've got these cute little tiny smaller ones. Let's just bring it up to the camera again. And then you've got a sweet little one. And then we've got our pieces at the side, so I will probably, what do I want to do there? In fact, I might take it from behind here, because then I can just keep that little edging piece. I'll probably remove all the flowers first, and then whatever's left I'll leave attached to these pieces. So even there where I just did a real cut through on it, it's still holding beautifully. So there's that. And so, as I say, I'd then go and cut out the other flowers before cutting the edge pieces, just so we make sure the flowers come out in their entirety. I've kind of lost the vibe on where that flower goes around. I've cut a little bit extra off that one, so you could, yeah, you could take off those extra bits if you didn't want that. It almost got like a little stem down the bottom. And then you're left with these pieces. And again, I can come up here. Might just come up through the middle there. And then you can use those around, for example, the edge of a page. Sorry, I'll move it down so you can see it. So that can make a nice little corner piece, or you can cut them off individually. So I think they're the main components that I would be taking out. Again, you could take it right down, and in fact we can do that with one of these ones. I can go down. What level would I go down to? Maybe just to this little middle section here. Go around here. And so you can get a nice little centerpiece, and then you've got a border piece as well. And you could even remove then that inner circle as well. I can do that. You just keep seeing shapes that you can create when you're looking at these pieces. This has so many tiny little stitches. It's a really dense doily. A dense doily. I don't know if that's a thing. So it's almost the weekend here, but I've had this week off, so it has felt like a continuous weekend, which is such fun. Normally on a Friday I'd be busy working hard at the computer, but instead the computer hasn't been on. Just been having fun, crafty adventures, even cleaning up my craft room. My partner's like, are you sure you want to be cleaning your craft room on your holiday? And I'm like, it's fun. And when I have everything where I can find it, it just makes my crafting a lot more fun too. And then there you go, another border. So from one flower, like this, you can also get all those 3 pieces. So you can get a lot of value out of a 10-cent, 50-cent, even $1 doily. Usually they're much cheaper than $1. Often they'll just sort of throw them in the bag at the op shop. So that's that one, and then we have, let's finish off with this one. So lots of beautiful little flowers in this one, and there's obviously the central elements, and there's even these little ones. So let's, although actually with this one you could take out a whole square if you wanted to, and in fact I think maybe I'll start down the side now. Where do I want to go? I want to leave probably that border there. I think I'll go down here, which means I need to go down here. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just leaving it laying flat on the table because that's just going to make my job a smidge easier, because I can just see where I need to cut down. And then you could leave it attached to its edge, but I think I'll just then pop up here. And then I'll do the same down here, just checking you can still see. Sometimes it's nice to have lengths of these as well, just to have that option to use a bigger section of it. And then if you want to, you can then trim them down further as you need them. But that's a nice little section of those flowers. Put that colour, which is a different colour. Don't know if you can see. You probably still can't see the difference in colour. Maybe you can. And then you have a piece down here. So we'll probably just take it down like that and then take it across here. And then there you go. That's another nice stretch. And then if you do want just individual little ones like this, and we can probably now start taking out these ones. I'll cut around them, I think. So they've almost got their little sun ray bits on them. There's one of those. And then you've got these little center bits. Like that. You've even got little ones here. So just little half shapes. So I'll probably make just another ribbon sort of, or long piece from here. So again, a crochet ribbon. Now have we done, don't think we've done one of these as an individual little flower, so we can do that. There you go, beautiful little flower. And I think that's most of the design elements, but as I say, you could also do a length of these together. Is that what I did before? Oh, that is what I did before, so we don't need to... Oh no, I did the ones from the outside together, but again, you could do these together. You could do a block of 4 of them, could be quite nice. I might even do that with this one. Take it up to there, take it from here, so as you can see, it's much easier with these little sort of sharp, smaller scissors than if you were using really big scissors. This one's even got a little pinky stain, unless they used a bit of pinky crochet cotton, which sometimes you do find someone's yeah, obviously picked up a different coloured cotton. I've got some that are actually tri or multicolour intentionally. And so that's a nice little square element that you could put behind some slow stitchy pieces. And then you've got a semi frame you could cut out if you wanted to. These ones I'll probably just cut out individually. So yeah, I think that's most of the elements there. You can also cut out just like a corner piece. So I've probably just gone off frame, so that's just a nice little corner piece. But yeah, there you go. That is doily chopping up 101. But yeah, don't be fearful, have fun, and you can end up with a great stash from a little bit of chopping time of lots of gorgeous goodies to use in your slow stitch. So enjoy, have a great weekend, folks. I'll head off now and have some lunch, and then I'll film next Thursday's Thrifty Thursday Reverse Art Truck goodies. Bye everyone, take care.